Hey everybody, and welcome back to Imaging USA at the Expo Trade Show. We are standing behind the Whcc booth with the very wonderful Dr. Tomayia Colvin, so thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you that are following along that haven't had the honor to meet Dr. T and to hang out with her, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're at, like about your studio? And I know you've got a big education platform. Give us a little intro about that.
So, hi friends, I'm Dr. Tomayia Colvin. I live in Houston, Texas. I have two really interesting kids. I am a portrait photographer that specializes in high school seniors and personal branding photography.
So when I had the opportunity to meet you for the first time was at your photo cookout in New Orleans, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, yes, exactly. So your studio is a piece of your business. Your education is a piece of your business. Your family, you're constantly keeping in touch with your community. How do you do this? Like, do you sleep at all?
That's the funniest thing. I do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, sleeping. And so, like last night, they were like, "Hey, where are you?" And I was like in my jammies. I was in my pajamas, and they were like, "You're not out." I was like, "No." Yeah. And they were like, "Wow, I think we're getting old." I said, "I think so." I was like, in order for me to do trade show all day,
Yep.
I need a nap at least. A nap and some good sleep.
Definitely. So I was leading you in because we got an email from you recently, and I thought it was a really interesting perspective. And you are always ahead of the curve, in my opinion, on photography education and balance in your life. And it was focused on planning rest.
Yes.
And for a lot of people watching along, you may be like, okay, well, that's not hard, but it is. It is. And we've all been programmed to just go, 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 until your body says, no, we're done. So how are you planning that rest in your world? Because you have like 8 full-time jobs.
This is very true. Yes.
So how do you do that?
So let's say, for example, for this show, right? On Sunday, I didn't plan anything. So I planned an entire day of just not necessarily rest, but I didn't have like any booths I needed to be at. My schedule was pretty open. Like I just said no.
Wow. You said no.
I said no.
Does anybody else out there know how to do that? I have a hard time with it. Yeah. Well, that's impressive.
I said no, and then someone asked me to come to their booth for an interview, and I said okay. She said, well, can you come in the morning? I said no.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Right.
So I think just kind of setting boundaries in your space, because you know how this is. You're going, 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 and if you don't say like no, then you'll end up in like 17 different trade show booths in one conference, and then at the end of the day, like you're wiped out. And I've done that already, so I was like, I don't want that. So now I kind of block off my time. Like when I'm finished here with you, I'm done, and I'm finished. Like I'm gonna go see my kid. I'm going to the airport, and I'm going home. So, but I schedule myself to know, like, okay, I'll talk to you, I'll talk to Matt today, and then I'll talk to another company, and then that's all.
Yeah. So when I was at the cookout for the first time, it was such a kind, inclusive, caring community. And that cannot happen and will not happen unless it starts with you. So in your desire to build the community that you've built, is that something that is just emulated from your own personality, or do you have key people that you rely on to help you bring that community together?
Yeah, so for me, it was me creating a space where I needed to feel most comfortable, right? So in the spaces, and you and I have talked about this, is that sometimes it's hard to see like people that look like me or Black women in these particular spaces. And so I created a space so that other Black women and other Black photographers could come to a place We don't have to code switch. We can just be like you just be whoever you are, and it's fine. And I think going into those circles and going into different groups of people to say, hey, I think this is what's important. I think you're losing a bit of the community that you're looking for, and that these voices are super duper important. It's not always easy because sometimes they're like, be quiet, but it's the work. I don't know. I think I always ask God, like, you chose me for this, like, of all the things in the world, like, God, this is hard. Like, why? I like taking pictures. Where did this part come from? But I think it's kind of like my life work, and so whatever needs to happen, like along the journey, then however it happens, like God brings people along the journey with me to support the vision that I'm trying to live out.
I love how you explain that. They're supporting your vision and living that whole experience out. So we're excited to have you join us at the lab next month. It's going to be called. I'm sorry in advance, but it's going to be. So let's talk a little bit about your education platform. We talked a little bit about the cookout, but you have Tomayia Colvin Education. Can you tell everybody following along where they can find you, how they can connect with you and learn?
Yeah, so I have Tomayia Colvin Education, the community. It's on Facebook. It's a Facebook community. I don't do dumpster fires and I don't do drama. So just so you know, when you come in the group, it's real chill, advice driven all day long, very community. But that is a place that if you want to come grow your business, you want to understand pricing, you want to understand marketing, or you just lost, right? You just come into the community, you ask your question, no question is dumb. And we really live by a space of like truly being inclusive, like not just being on paper, but a place where people can come that need help. And so that's pretty much what I do. I teach other photographers how to make money. All day. That's what I do.
And be nice people along the way.
People, yeah, and you have to be nice.
You do have to be nice, yeah. So on Instagram, where can they find you? What's your website? All that.
Okay, on Instagram, I'm at Tomayia Colvin, and on where else you said?
Like Facebook.
Facebook, yes. So on Facebook, I'm at Tomayia Colvin Education, and Tomayia Colvin Education, the community on Facebook group.
And then does the cookout have its own specific website too? Okay, perfect. And I can say from personal experience, the cookout is amazing. It is an outstanding place to go. I love it. I look forward to it every year. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you, everything you do for photography, for White House, for the human race in general. So thank you. We hope you've enjoyed this interview with Dr. Tomayia Colvin, and we will be back with you shortly.